Imagine a life where no insult, no challenge, and no chaos can shake your peace. A life where your inner calm remains unshaken, no matter the storms raging around you. Sounds powerful, right? If there's one lesson you take from this, let it be this. Your peace is within you, and nothing external should have the power to disturb it. Today, we'll explore 10 life-changing Buddhist principles that will help you cultivate unshakable emotional strength and calm. As the Buddha wisely said, peace comes from within. Do not seek it outside. Let's uncover how to create this inner sanctuary, a place of stillness, resilience, and deep wisdom. If you're ready to rise above insults, challenges, and negativity and step into the calm, confident life you deserve, let's begin. Principle 1. Insults and offense. Only if you accept them. Imagine walking beside a still pond and someone throws a stone into the water. The surface ripples, but soon the pond returns to its natural calm. Now, think about your own life. How often do people throw their own stones at you? Harsh words, criticism, or insults? And how often do you let those ripples linger longer than necessary? Buddhist wisdom reveals a powerful truth. Insults only affect you if you allow them to. Words, no matter how hurtful, have no real power unless you choose to absorb and carry them. The Buddha once said, "Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die." Yet we often hold on to negativity, rehashing insults over and over, allowing them to disturb our peace. But why? The answer lies in attachment. Our attachment to approval, validation, or fairness. Imagine someone throws you a heavy rock. Do you have to catch it? Of course not. You can simply let it fall and walk away. The same applies to insults, criticism, or negativity. You do not have to accept them. Instead, let them pass like ripples on a pond, knowing they will fade if you do not hold on to them. A simple practice: pause before reacting. Take a deep breath. Visualize the insult as a cloud passing across the sky. Acknowledge it, but let it drift away. Your peace is your power. Don't give it away so easily. The ripples may form, but like the pond, you can always return to stillness. Principle 2. Be strict with yourself, but tolerant of others. Imagine you're climbing a mountain. You have a clear goal, a determined pace, and a deep commitment to reach the top. But along the way, you see other climbers, some struggling, some moving faster, some who seem lost or unmotivated. It's easy to feel frustrated or judgmental. However, the Buddhist path teaches us a different perspective. Hold yourself to high standards, but extend patience and tolerance to others. The Buddha reminds us, you yourself, as much as anybody in the universe, deserve your love and affection. But that love must also extend outward. Too often we fall into extremes. We judge ourselves harshly, expecting perfection. We hold others to impossible standards, expecting them to move at our pace. Both lead to frustration and strained relationships. Instead, balance self-discipline with empathy. How to apply this in life? Commit to your values and goals, even when it's inconvenient. Wake up early for that workout, even if no one else joins you. Choose patience when frustration feels easier. Recognize that others are climbing their own mountains at their own pace. Like the mountain doesn't judge the climbers, neither should you. This balance fosters growth, deeper connections, and inner peace. Principle 3. Transform everyone into a teacher. Think about a time when someone truly tested your patience. Maybe it was a rude stranger, a difficult co-worker, or a loved one who said something hurtful. In that moment, anger and frustration likely arose. But what if, instead of reacting, you paused and asked yourself, what is this moment trying to teach me? This is the essence of Buddhist wisdom. Every person, pleasant or difficult, is a teacher. The Buddha said, When watching after yourself, you watch after others. When watching after others, you watch after yourself. Even those who challenge us the most reveal valuable lessons. A difficult friend teaches patience. A competitor at work teaches confidence and self-assurance. A betrayal teaches resilience and boundaries. By shifting from reaction to curiosity, life becomes a classroom, and every interaction a lesson for growth. A simple practice. The next time someone frustrates you, pause and ask, "What is this teaching me? How can I grow from this? How would my highest self respond?" Instead of seeing challenges as stress, you'll begin to see them as stepping stones to wisdom. Principle 4. No one can hurt you unless you let them imagine standing in a storm, rain pouring, wind howling, but inside your warm, peaceful home, you remain untouched. This is the power of inner peace. No one can force their negativity onto you unless you invite it in. The Buddha said, "No one saves us but ourselves. No one can, and no one may." Yet we often let negativity invade our minds, allowing harsh words or unfair actions to disturb our inner sanctuary. But what if you could protect your peace like a home protects you from the storm? A simple practice. When faced with negativity, pause, ask, "Does this define me, or does it define them?" Let the emotion rise, but do not cling to it. Allow it to pass, like a cloud drifting across the sky. Your peace is yours. Protect it. Final thought. The path to unshakable peace. The storms of life, insults, envy, criticism, and uncertainty only hold power if you let them. By embracing these Buddhist principles, you build a fortress of inner strength. Let go of insults. They only affect you if you accept them. Hold yourself accountable, but show patience to others. See every person and challenge as a teacher. Protect your peace. No one can take it unless you allow them to. This is not just philosophy. This is a path to real, lasting freedom. So, take a deep breath. Let go of what no longer serves you and step confidently into the calm, strong, unshakable life you deserve. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Wisdom Solace for more powerful teachings on peace, resilience, and wisdom. Principle 5. Turn envy into emulation. Have you ever felt a pang of envy while scrolling through social media? Maybe you saw someone achieving something you've always dreamed of, a successful career, a fulfilling relationship, or a lifestyle that seems just out of reach. Envy is a familiar emotion, one that often makes us feel inadequate or stuck. But what if that same envy could become your greatest teacher, a force for growth rather than comparison? Buddhism offers a powerful shift in perspective. Do not be jealous of others' good qualities. Adopt them yourself. This wisdom invites us to stop seeing others' success as a spotlight on what we lack, and instead view it as a guide to what's possible. Why do we feel envy? Envy often stems from self-doubt. We see someone thriving and think, "Why not me?" We compare ourselves to others' highlight reels, forgetting that we don't see their struggles, sacrifices, and setbacks. But here's the secret. That spark of envy is actually a signal. It's showing you something that deeply matters to you, something you desire for yourself. The key is to use it wisely, not as a weapon against yourself, but as fuel for self-improvement. Transforming envy into growth. Imagine this scenario. A colleague gets promoted, the very position you wanted. Your first instinct might be resentment or frustration. Instead of dwelling on those emotions, ask yourself, what qualities or habits help them succeed? How can I cultivate those same traits? This simple shift transforms envy into a plan of action. If you admire someone's fitness discipline, study their habits. Do they wake up early? Do they meal prep? Prioritize consistency? If you admire someone's confidence, Start practicing self-assurance through small daily actions like public speaking or setting boundaries. If you envy someone's success, look at their mindset and work ethic. What can you learn and apply to your own journey? A practical exercise. 1. Identify the trigger. When you feel envy, pause and pinpoint what triggered it. 2. Write it down. Note the qualities or achievements that you admire. 3. Break it into steps. Instead of thinking, "Why not me?" ask, "How can I develop these same strengths?" By doing this, you shift from comparison to empowerment. The lesson: envy is not the enemy, it's a compass. It points to areas where you are ready to grow. When you use envy as motivation instead of a burden, you unlock your true potential. Others' success is not a barrier, it's a beacon lighting the path ahead. Principle 6. The power of acceptance. Imagine holding a rope in a tug-of-war against life itself. On the other end, life pulls with all its might. Unexpected challenges, disappointments, and situations you wish were different. The harder you pull back, the more exhausted and frustrated you become. But what if you simply let go of the rope? This is the essence of acceptance in Buddhism. Acceptance is not giving up. It's the key to inner peace. As the Buddha said, accept what is. Let go of what was. Have faith in what will be. Why do we resist reality? Our minds fight against what we don't like. We resist change, wishing things would stay the same. We hold on to past regrets, replaying what-if scenarios. We struggle with uncertainty, fearing what's next. But resistance only amplifies suffering. Imagine standing in the rain, yelling at the sky to stop. Your anger won't change the weather, it will only leave you soaked and frustrated. Acceptance is like opening an umbrella. It doesn't stop the storm, but it shields you from unnecessary suffering. How to cultivate acceptance? 1. Notice when you resist reality. Is it a job loss, a breakup, or an unexpected setback? Do you find yourself saying, "This isn't fair," or "It shouldn't be this way"? 2. Pause. Take 3 deep breaths. Silently say to yourself, "This is how it is right now." 3. Ask, what's the next meaningful step? Instead of clinging to what should have been, focus on what you can control moving forward. Acceptance is not weakness. It's the ability to meet life as it is, not as you wish it to be. When you stop fighting reality, you conserve your energy for what truly matters: growth, adaptation, moving forward with grace. The lesson: life will bring its storms, but when you let go of resistance, you find the peace that no storm can take away. Principle 7. Live in harmony with nature. Have you ever stood beneath a sunrise, feeling a deep sense of calm? Or listened to the rustle of leaves and suddenly felt clarity in your thoughts? Nature teaches us peace, if we're willing to listen. In Buddhism, living in harmony with nature means aligning ourselves with its rhythms, accepting change just as the seasons do, flowing with life like a river to the sea, letting go like a tree shedding its leaves in autumn. The Buddha said, "Just as a candle cannot burn without fire, man cannot live without a spiritual life." Yet in modern life, we resist this natural flow. We chase endless productivity, ignoring the need for rest. We cling to things we should release, fearing change. We disconnect from nature, surrounding ourselves with noise and distractions. But when we pause and observe nature, we learn. Change is not our enemy, it is our teacher. How to reconnect with nature? 1. Spend intentional time in nature. Take a mindful walk. Observe the sky, the trees, the sounds of the wind. 2. Let nature teach you acceptance. Just as a river doesn't resist its path, embrace your journey with trust. Just as a tree doesn't fight the falling leaves, let go of what no longer serves you. 3. Practice gratitude for the natural world. Appreciate the warmth of the sun, the rain that nurtures life, the air you breathe. The lesson: nature thrives by embracing change. When you align your life with its wisdom, you too find peace, resilience, and the strength to grow. Final thought: the path to unshakable peace. By practicing these Buddhist principles, you build a foundation of inner strength that no external chaos can shake. Transform envy into inspiration. Let go of resistance, accept what is. Flow with life's natural rhythms. You are stronger than your circumstances. You are wiser than your doubts. You are capable of a deep, unshakable peace. So take a breath, let go. Trust the journey. If this resonated with you, subscribe to Wisdom's Solace for more teachings on peace, resilience, and self-mastery. Principle 8. Practice ethical living. Imagine a still and clear lake, so pure that it perfectly reflects the world around it. Now, picture throwing a small pebble into the water. The ripples spread far and wide, touching every part of the surface. This is how our actions work in the world. Every choice we make, big or small, creates ripples that affect ourselves and others. Buddhism teaches that ethical living is the foundation of a peaceful life. As the Buddha said, "What you think, you become." Our thoughts shape our actions, and our actions shape the world around us. Yet, in today's fast-paced world, ethical living can feel like a challenge. We are constantly pulled in different directions. Pressures at work, conflicts in relationships, the temptation to take shortcuts. But here's the truth. It is precisely in moments of difficulty that ethical living becomes our anchor. The power of integrity. Consider a moment when you faced a difficult choice. Maybe at work, a dishonest decision could have given you short-term gains. Perhaps in a relationship, saying what someone wanted to hear felt easier than honesty. The temptation to choose the easy path is always present, but what happens when you choose integrity instead? At first, it might seem harder, but in the long run, ethical living fosters trust, strengthens your character, and ensures peace of mind. When your actions align with your values, you feel a deep sense of inner peace. And when they don't, anxiety and guilt take root, disrupting your emotional balance. How to practice ethical living in everyday life. Reflect on your core values. Ask yourself, what truly matters to me? Use your values as a compass in decision-making. When faced with a tough choice, pause and ask, does this action reflect the person I want to be? Choose honesty, even when it's difficult. A commitment to truth creates a life free of guilt and inner conflict. Practice compassion. Ethical living isn't just about avoiding harm, it's about actively doing good. A kind word, a helping hand, or a moment of patience can ripple outward, inspiring others to do the same. The lesson: ethical living is not about perfection, it's about alignment. When your actions match your values, you create a strong foundation that no external chaos can shake. You become like the still lake, reflecting clarity and peace in everything you do. Principle 9. Cultivate gratitude. Imagine waking up to a beautiful sunrise. You step outside, feeling the warmth of the sun on your face, hearing birds chirping, smelling the fresh scent of nature. But instead of noticing these gifts, your mind races, a long to-do list, past regrets, future worries. How often do we overlook the beauty of the present moment because we're focused on what's missing? Buddhist philosophy teaches us to shift our attention from what we lack to what we have. As the Buddha said, let us rise up and be thankful, for if we didn't learn a lot today, we learned a little. Gratitude is not just a fleeting emotion, it's a practice. It is a way of seeing the world that transforms our outlook, builds joy, and shields us from negativity. How gratitude shields you from negativity. In modern life, gratitude often gets overshadowed by comparison. We see what others have, and we measure our own lives against theirs. We focus on the gaps rather than the gifts. We think happiness exists somewhere in the future, rather than in the present moment. But gratitude reminds us that true wealth lies not in possessions, but in perspective. Consider this story. A farmer lost half of his crops in a storm. He felt devastated, focusing only on the loss. The next morning, as he walked through his field, he saw the sunrise illuminating the remaining crops. At that moment, he chose gratitude, not for the loss, but for what endured. His mindset gave him strength to rebuild, and joy even in hardship. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it changes how we face them. How to cultivate gratitude in daily life. Keep a gratitude journal. Each day, write down 3 things you're thankful for. They don't have to be grand. A kind word from a friend, a meal you enjoyed, or simply the breath in your lungs. Over time, this practice trains your mind to seek out the good in every situation. Express gratitude to others. A heartfelt thank you strengthens relationships and spreads positivity. Gratitude is contagious. When you share it, you inspire others to do the same. The lesson: gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. It doesn't erase life's struggles, but it allows you to face them with resilience and joy. Gratitude is not just an emotion, it's a choice. And in choosing gratitude, you choose peace. Principle 10. Trust the process and let go. Imagine holding a rope, pulling with all your might. You desperately try to control the outcome. Your muscles strain, your mind races. You feel the weight of the world pulling you down. But the harder you pull, the more exhausted you become. What if instead of pulling, you simply let go? The Buddhist wisdom of letting go. The Buddha teaches, attachment is the root of suffering. When we cling to specific outcomes, forcing relationships to work, trying to control the future, resisting change, we create stress, anxiety, and disappointment. But true peace comes from learning to release, trust, and flow with life. Consider the story of a young monk tasked with planting trees. He desperately wanted them to grow fast, so he watered them excessively, moved them around, trying to force their progress. Yet one by one the trees withered and died. Confused, he asked his master for guidance. The master smiled and said, "You've tried to control the process. Let nature take its course." When the monk let go, he witnessed new shoots growing stronger than before. By letting go of control, he allowed nature to reveal its wisdom. How to apply letting go in life. Accept uncertainty. Life is unpredictable. Stop fighting it. Instead of obsessing over every detail, focus on what you can control today. Embrace the process of growth. Growth is not about forcing things to happen, it's about allowing them to unfold. Use mindfulness to recognize attachment. When you feel anxious about an outcome, pause. Ask yourself, am I clinging to something beyond my control? The lesson: letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the need for control. When you stop fighting against life, you begin to move with it. Final thought: the path to true inner peace. By practicing these Buddhist principles, you build a foundation of calm and resilience. Live ethically and act with integrity. Cultivate gratitude to transform your mindset. Let go of control and trust the process. Your inner peace is your power. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Wisdom Solace for more teachings on peace, resilience, and self-mastery. Bonus principle: non-attachment in relationships. Imagine a flower in a garden. It blooms freely without being forced to grow in a certain direction. Its beauty lies in its authenticity, in simply being what it is. Now imagine trying to force the flower to grow faster, controlling its shape, or demanding it bloom on your schedule. What happens? The flower withers under pressure instead of flourishing naturally. This is what attachment does to relationships. Buddhism teaches that non-attachment is the key to healthy, thriving connections. What is non-attachment in relationships? Non-attachment does not mean detachment or withdrawing from people. It does not mean you stop caring or loving deeply. Instead, it means letting go of the need to control or change others. As the Buddha teaches, the root of suffering is attachment. This is especially true in relationships. When we become attached to expectations, expecting people to act, think, or love us in a certain way, we create suffering. We feel disappointed when people don't meet our expectations. We become frustrated when they don't behave the way we want. We feel insecure when we expect someone to complete us. But true love and connection flourish in freedom, not control. The problem with attachment in relationships. Think about a time when you tried to change someone. You wanted them to love you differently. You expected them to meet all your needs. You thought they should behave in a certain way. Did it lead to peace? Or did it lead to frustration, resentment, or disappointment? Attachment creates suffering because it makes our happiness dependent on others. When we attach to a specific outcome in relationships, we are no longer loving unconditionally. Instead, we are loving with conditions. I will be happy if they love me the way I want. I will feel worthy if they give me attention. I will feel secure if they don't change. But love shouldn't be a transaction. The more you cling to control, the more you suffocate the relationship. When you practice non-attachment, you stop forcing connections. You allow relationships to grow naturally, just like a flower blossoms when given space and care. How to practice non-attachment in relationships? 1. Accept people as they are. Love them without trying to change them. See them for who they are, not who you want them to be. 2. Let go of the illusion of control. You cannot control how others feel, think, or act. You can only control your own actions and reactions. 3. Detach from expectations. Enjoy the present without clinging to a future outcome. Let relationships flow naturally instead of forcing them to fit a mold. 4. Give love, but don't depend on it for happiness. Love should enhance your happiness, not be the source of it. Your inner peace should not depend on someone else's actions. A story of non-attachment in love. A young woman was deeply in love, but constantly felt anxious. She worried her partner might stop loving her. She tried to control the relationship, demanding constant reassurance. The more she clung, the more her partner felt suffocated. One day, she sought advice from a wise teacher. The teacher gave her a handful of sand and said, "Hold it in your palm." She squeezed tightly, and the sand slipped through her fingers. Then he said, "Now, open your palm and hold the sand gently." This time, the sand stayed in her hand. Love is like this, the teacher said. The tighter you grip, the more you lose it. The looser you hold, the more it stays. From that moment on, she stopped clinging and started trusting the flow of love. She loved fully, without fear, control, or attachment. And in doing so, she set both herself and her partner free. The beauty of loving with non-attachment. When you practice non-attachment, you experience deeper, more fulfilling relationships based on respect, not control. Emotional freedom. Your happiness is no longer dependent on others. Less stress and anxiety because you trust that things will unfold as they should. More appreciation for the present moment, instead of worrying about the future. When you stop trying to possess love, you allow it to thrive. Your inner peace is your power. Life will always have challenges, insults, and emotional storms, but true strength comes from within you. Buddhist wisdom for inner strength. Don't let insults shake you. Let them pass like ripples on water. Hold yourself to high standards, but be patient with others. See everyone as a teacher. Every experience has a lesson. No one can truly hurt you unless you allow them to. Turn envy into inspiration. Use it as motivation to grow. Accept life as it is. Resisting reality only creates suffering. Live in harmony with nature. Trust the cycles of life. Act with integrity. Ethical living creates inner peace. Focus on gratitude. Train your mind to see the good. Trust the process and let go. Life flows best when you stop forcing it. Love with non-attachment. Allow relationships to grow naturally. Your inner peace is your superpower. Protect it, nurture it, and let it guide you to a life of wisdom and calm. If this message resonated with you, subscribe to Wisdom's Solace for more teachings on peace,